Good morning from the sports desk. The Easter Schools Festival, sports festival that is, in Johannesburg has been popular for showcasing the country's bountiful rugby talent for many years. The St. John's and KS festivals feature rugby and hockey fixtures, but St. Stithians College is doing things differently this year and making sure that as many sporting codes as possible get their time in the sun. eNCA's award-winning reporter, Hloni Mtimkulu, is at St. Stithians College to tell us more. Good morning to Hloni. I mean, we can almost expect a whole lot of action with different sporting codes. But so far, what are you seeing? How are things looking in terms of the preparation for when they start?
Good morning, Morena. Yes, as you said, we should expect lots of sport to happen today, as has happened over the weekend since the 5th actually of April, where the St. Sports Fest started. This is the college or the main festival. Of course, the prep school had their festival last weekend, so from the 30th of March to the 1st of April. That is an extension of course, the big one, as you said, that other schools have had theirs and now they also or have theirs, and we're also seeing one happening here. You know, it extends more than just to rugby. We've always known that Easter is a time for schoolboy rugby, especially all those sorts of festivals. But now for this one, we've got other sport. We've got netball, we've got tennis, we've got squash, we've got hockey, and we've also got football. And not just that, we've also got, you know, as we said, we talk about schoolboy rugby, but we actually have girls now taking part in these festivals. So you can imagine with the netball, with the hockey as well, with the football as well. There are girls that are taking part. We know, we've done stories in the past where we've seen that St. Stithians is ramping up their interest in football especially, and they also have a girls team. So it's it's been an exciting few days. We're coming right at the tail end of things. There will be games between the alumni and the schools here, and other things that are happening. It's still very early at the moment. You asked what are we seeing. It's still very early. Festivities only get underway at 10:30. They were meant to be other events that were happening before, but because of the weather, some of that had to be cancelled. There is a squash, which is an indoor event that did start at around 8:30, so that's still happening. We are at the main rugby field, so we do expect, of course, rugby that will go on for much of the day today, Morena.
Do we know some of the schools that are taking part, joining St. Stithians?
I'm going to look at the program for today just to give you an idea of who to expect. We have the Monday, which is the 10th. So we have Bishops from Cape Town versus Clifton. They'll be playing the first match here at 11 o'clock. We've got Wynberg Boys, again, another Cape Town school, and Northcliffe High School. We've got Michael House. I think Michael House is from Durban, and St. Albans, which I think is from Pretoria. We've got Kingswood and Help Makar. We have Saints, well, obviously the host, and then St. John's from Harare in Zimbabwe. So it's not just a South African festival, it's not just the Gauteng festival, it's a nationwide festival, and also of course a SADC or Southern African regions also that are coming here. Just to let you know how many schools have taken part in this festival. In the prep festival, first of all, there were 1,000 participants made up of 103 teams from over 60 schools, and with this main festival we have 1,100 participants, 88 teams representing 87 schools. So the 10 or so schools that I've named are just a handful of the schools that have been taking part in this festival. You can imagine that's a lot of schools. I don't know how many schools there are in the country, but you can imagine 87 schools and what that means just for school rugby or school sport in general. And we talk about school sport and the importance of it. So you can imagine if there's 87 teams at least, or 60 schools in the prep festival that are taking place, that should do something to or should show just how big school sport is and how important it is just in terms of the development of sport in the country as a whole, Morena.
How long do we expect this to go on for today? I mean, it is obviously the final day, so when do we expect things to wrap up, since it's already started with squash a little earlier this morning?
Yeah, so the squash we expect to end at around 11 or 12. There should be football as well. There was meant to be football. That might have changed now because of the weather. But football was also meant to get underway at around 9 or 10, and that would end at around 12 or so. The rugby, the main event for today, I would say, is expected to go on until 5 o'clock. As I said, those matches that I called out, there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 matches that are going to take place. And then there's also a Saints alumni alumni sevens match versus an invitational team. So not just 15s rugby, there will be a sevens match as well. And who knows who's part of that Saints alumni team that will be playing as well. And who will be, especially more importantly, part of that invitational team. I don't know if there's former sevens players that think that they are, I don't know, they can play schoolboy rugby or play with youngsters, but maybe they'll be part of that. So we expect that the rugby will start at around 10 and then it will go on until around 5 o'clock this afternoon.
Great Easter Monday action that people can go out and enjoy. Hloni, thank you. We'll leave it there with you for this morning, of course, as you look to follow what's going to be happening this entire day until about 5 o'clock. That's our reporter, Hloni Mtimkulu, out at St. Stephen's for the Easter Schools Festivals, rugby particularly being the center of attention. Right.